Yes, people, what's happening? Back again, Footy Talk settings. Sava, how's it going, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Decent weekend. Nice start to a week. Yeah, you boys won. We didn't lose. What's not to like about it?
Nah, it's true, brother. You lot didn't lose, but it's not even that you didn't lose. It's the way you played. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be real. Like I've seen a lot of Tottenham in it. My mum, my brother support Spurs. That's the best football I've seen you lot play probably in my life, and I've seen a lot of Tottenham. Like, do you know what I'm saying? In terms of the consistency of the play. Like, because I've always watched Tottenham, and Tottenham have had players like the David Ginolas, do you know what I mean? That are the Gareth Bales that have been able to do things in moments. But I haven't seen a sustained level of football from Tottenham like that. Like, it was crazy. Like, it was mad. It was like watching a completely different team.
Yeah, it's the new way we play, and I think slowly but surely, week by week, I think a lot of opposing fans are starting to realise that the way we've played it isn't about we've only played Burnley, we've only played Bournemouth, and whatever. I think they're starting to realise now that this is Ange Postecoglou's style. This is how he's set up. This is what we've been implementing over the summer, and we look decent. We look decent. Long way to go, but look, 6 games, no defeats. First test of the season was Arsenal. Second test is Liverpool this weekend. So I'm happy. It's chalk and cheese from last season. So I'm really, really happy.
Yeah, but it's crazy, man. And what what I'm liking as well is Maddis seems to be shutting a lot of people up in it, because I've seen some ridiculous stuff about this guy in it as a footballer. I've always rated him. It's a player I wanted at Manchester United, and it's like there was so much talk of what he doesn't do instead of focusing on his strengths. Everyone's saying off the ball, he doesn't press, he doesn't defend. The same arguments for why he doesn't play for England, the same arguments for why apparently the Man Uniteds or the Liverpools or the Arsenals or whatever didn't want him because he doesn't suit the system.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that he's aggressive, like he's the one who wins the ball for Son's second goal, and he got 2 assists in that game, but he won the ball of Jorginho. So for someone who doesn't press, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know how that happened.
Yeah, do you know what? I think this is the key thing. Lots of Spurs fans have been talking about a playmaker for years and years and years. And this, look, Maddison is one of the only playmakers that's played in the Premier League. Lots of teams don't play that way. So the question mark against him from many fans, not from me, I love the guy, from many fans for years has been, but does he work hard? Does he track back? Does he press? Does he close down? I mean, he's answered in this first 6 games, he's answered all those questions. And probably from watching the game yesterday, you'll realise this isn't your typical number 10 or the style of play that Postecoglou is implementing isn't right, you're our playmaker, you just float in the hole. He pulls out wide right, he pulls out wide left, he drops into central midfield, he drives with the ball, he always looks up for a pass, and his assists are just absolutely outrageous. Like he's got 4 assists now, 2 goals. And when you look at 40 million, and you look at some of the other players that have been signed this window, Rants, from teams that are 60, 70 north, you just think, wow, I'll be biased now. I'm never normally biased, you know me, but I think I'm allowed to be on this occasion. I think this is the signing of the summer in the Premier League so far. I think he's just been absolutely sensational.
Oh yeah, for playing stuff for sure. I think the signing of the summer is your manager, but I think,
yeah.
but I think in terms of the players, it's private. I never thought that was gonna be any different though. Like whoever got Maddison was gonna improve exponentially anyway. He's a top player, and the fact that he was at a relegated club, yeah, and he was holding out. He was holding out for Tottenham. He must have had an idea that Harry Kane was going to leave. He must have had an idea that he was going to get his shirt. And he must have had an idea that he was going to be given a certain amount of freedom. He's also your vice captain, isn't he? So all these things would have been...
Romero,
so all of these things would have been promised to him when he came in, innit? They obviously must have sat him down and said, listen, you're going to get the responsibility. You're going to get the freedom. And you can just come in and you can just be yourself, because he's that kind of player. He's a confident player. He's not someone who's going to go somewhere Like if you tell him, oh, he's going to be bit part, he's not going. Do you know what I'm saying? So the fact that Tottenham have probably told him the project, we're going to get this new manager in, you're going to get the vice captaincy, you're going to get the number 10, you're going to be a big player for us. And he's rising to the occasion, bro. Like he's proper taking it in his stride.
Do you know what? I think we've got the mature James Maddison. I feel like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, people were talking about, that he's always out partying and he's this, he's that. You know, he's now a dad. I think he's just had twins. He had twins like a week after joining Spurs or something. He had a big old week there. But look, he's been nothing short of sensational. He talks maturely. His performances on the pitch have been brilliant. Listen, he made a mistake yesterday, and lots of people, like, to go back to your point, Rants, where we do this a lot as football fans. We talk a lot about what people can't do, and we don't focus on what they can do. And I was speaking to someone on my show earlier, and someone said, Maddison was given man of the match. He shouldn't have been. Had Jesus had scored the goal where
he lost the ball.
Chance where he lost the ball. And I was like, yeah, but sure. But off the back of that, the man hasn't let his head drop. The man's gone and absolutely bossed Saka out on that left-hand side. Bossed him. Turned him. And have you seen his response today?
Yeah, I seen it. Well, yeah, because he copied his celebration, innit? And he just played it down. He was like, whatever, innit?
Well, he went and shrugged him off, twisting, turning, gets to the byline.
He got the last laugh because he absolutely cooked Saka, for the assist, innit? So it's just like, it just doesn't really matter. Like it was a great response, and yeah, man. Like honestly, in the 2 assists that James Maddison got, you saw 2 of the things that he don't get credit for: his work rate off the ball and his ability to take players on. Because no one talks about it. Everyone talks about his GA. They're like, oh yeah, he got good GA in a Leicester team, and that. The guy can carry the ball. He's good in tight situations, which a lot of modern day number 10s are not, and modern day players are not. Do you know what I mean? The way he absolutely cooked Saka there on the outside, and then still had like the awareness to find Son with the pass. Like he's got everything that a modern footballer needs, from his technical ability. He's not slow either. Like he's got a decent turn of pace. Do you know what I mean? He's got a bit of tenacity about him. Like he's got all the ingredients to be a top player. Do you know what I'm saying? So
I think he is a top player. I think he's sensational.
Yeah, he is a top player.
How and listen, we won't talk about Southgate, but listen, how this guy is not being put in the number 10 role for England and left there to feed Harry Kane is beyond me. It's absolutely beyond me. Always has been. Look, I'm hoping I don't mean this in the wrong way, but he's left a smaller club. I know that sounds weird because they won the league like 7 or 8 years ago.
But they're still a smaller club.
Yeah. He left a smaller club, come to a bigger club. I'm hoping now that gives him more respect that he deserves. I just think he's brilliant. All the talk for the week. Look, Rants, I've been on one the last 24 hours, mate. I've been on one because for the last week, do you know the amount of crap I have taken from Arsenal fans?
Oh, it's not just you, man. These guys they've had a bee in their bonnet, from the start of the season. Like they've been flying, like all the chat, especially the fact that they haven't even started the season well. They haven't been playing well. Like your eyes tells you that this is not as good as they were last season. You can see it. Do you know what I'm saying? And they've spent a lot of money. So it's one of them things where I think they're trying to overcompensate because they're nervous. That's what I think.
Do you know what the thing that frustrates me is like, I mean, look, I went live, didn't I, with Turkish? I don't know if you saw. I went live with Turkish on the box to box, and he said, what's your prediction? I said, 2-2.
Well, he said like 5-1 or something. Someone told me.
He said 5-1. So literally, as the camera's rolling, Rats, I went, if you score 5 goals past us, I will come back on AFTV wearing an Arsenal shirt. I was like, there is no way. And they're all like, you ain't that good. And I'm like, I don't feel like these people, not just Arsenal fans, Rants, I don't feel like enough people are watching how we play.
They're not.
What they do is they hear that we're attacking and they assume that means no balance, no midfield grit, no ability to defend. But that's not how we play. And Arsenal found that out yesterday after their fans giving it the whole, if you come to us and do what PSV did, we ain't PSV. We're not PSV. PSV, Dutch teams don't Dutch teams don't ever sit back. Dutch teams don't care. They go forward.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're
We
open.
got the blend. Yeah.
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 And they don't play with the same intensity that you guys play at. Nowhere near, innit? And it's funny, like I was saying on the show that I had before, but because Troy Deeney mentioned it on a podcast he was on. He's like, the modern football fan, these guys do not, one, they watch like 3 minutes of a 90 in the highlights and think that they watch the game.
Yeah.
But two, also, they don't know how to understand, they don't know how to analyze what's going on here when they're watching the game. They think the player that's running the hardest has had the best game. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's just all about stats at the end of the day. It's like, if you actually watch what Tottenham are doing right now, you can't tell me that is anything like you've seen. Like, how can you not respect it? Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, even this comment here, Van der Ven here was unreal.
Class.
Like, and the thing is, he's mad composed. He's quick. Do you know what I'm saying? And he just looks, to be fair, the whole Tottenham team looks so confident. And that's why Maddison made that mistake. That's why Adogi made the mistake early as well. Because Tottenham just look comfortable. Like, when they're playing out from the back, even your goalkeeper, everyone just looks comfortable. Like, no one's rushing anything. We're doing it in our own time. They all look like they've been given the confidence from the manager to just go out and play relaxed. And they were almost too relaxed at the beginning. And Arsenal were like pressing, running around. And Tottenham just looks really relaxed. That's the reason why the mistakes happened at the beginning. It wasn't because like Tottenham are bad. It's almost like they weren't playing like it was a derby. They were just playing like, oh, cool, we're just out. We're just going to pop the ball about. And Arsenal like had a bee in their bonnet at the beginning. And it's almost like the intensity of the game just caught Spurs off guard a little bit. And then when they actually dialed in, they absolutely were taking Arsenal apart.
I think the key thing is that people need to remember is that was game 6 into his tenure. And you know, I think the way they've been playing for the last couple of years, Rants, most of these players, the ones that have been there for a few years at least, they've not been told to play like this before. So this is going to be new to them. There are going to be mistakes. We're not the finished article. But what I'll tell you what, if listen, I'm going to say it. I don't care. I'm going to say it. What annoys me about these Arsenal fans is they're all coming out now going, oh, Spurs think they won. You got a point. You're desperate. You're hungry. No. Do you know what Spurs fans are happy about, Rants? It's all the wild, delusional takes of 5-0, 5-1, 4-0, 3-0. You come to your manager said he's going to come and play football. If you do that, you're going to get battered. We'll destroy. It was all the adjectives. Yeah, it was battered, smashed, creamed, whatever word you want to put in there. We went there. I didn't see any evidence that was ever going to happen. Their goals were scored by an own goal and a penalty where I'm not sure what Romero's meant to do. The ball's blasted in from 1 yard.
He's not meant to do anything.
And I was told all week, Jesus going to do this to our back four because it's no good. Saka's going to do this to our 20-year-old left back. What? Our 20-year-old left back had an iffy 20 minutes. The first 20 minutes, he looked nervous. He got the yellow card. After that, I mean, I'm going to go down the training ground tomorrow and see if we're allowed to get Saka out of Udogi's back pocket.
Yeah, he didn't get nowhere near.
Where was Starboy? Like he did. Like they're like, oh, he scored a goal on a penalty. No, he didn't. Romero scored an own goal for a shot that was going wide, and all right, he scored a penalty. So what? Like I didn't see Odegaard. Like where was
Odegaard? Hey, listen, that guy. Yeah, listen. Oh my days, he's good on the ball. Like on the ball, I rate this guy. I rate him.
Yep.
But this guy done saying that. When I say he's good on the ball, yeah. Even that, there has to be a caveat. Because when I see him playing, yeah, when he's being pressed and he's under pressure, he doesn't look good. Do you know what I mean? There's certain players, he's technically very good. Good way to pass, can receive the ball. But when you press him and you put him under pressure and you don't let him have the time he needs, he looks suspect, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? He does. And you see that game against Tottenham, yeah, the intensity they were pressing in that midfield. Bro, I think he had like 4 out of 12 passes completed or something like that. Because they weren't letting him play. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's all it was, bro. If you don't let Odegaard play, it's a different story. If you let him play, he will kill you. Like, he's one of the most elegant players on the ball in the league. But the way Tottenham were pressing in that midfield, bro, he couldn't. Bro, they're talking about Arsenal's midfield. He played with 4 different players in that game in midfield, and he didn't look any better in either half.
Yeah, he did. Listen, can you do me a favour? There's a comment at 5:24 from a guy called Marshall. Right, I don't know how many people you got watching you inside right at the moment, Rants.
Yeah, they're still coming in, bruv. There'll be almost 1,000 people in here in no time.
Right. So for the 1,000 people, right, I'll tell you what, this comment at 5:24 from Marshall Kagami says, enjoy your moment in the sun, Spurs fans. You still won't win anything. If anything sums up 2023 football fans, it's that comment. First of all, enjoy your moment in the sun. What moment? We're just happy. We were told we had to pass the test.
Bruv, you're enjoying playing football. Right? Like, what's wrong with that?
And we did well. Second of all, the fact that Arsenal fans' excuses today, you won't win anything. What's that got to do with yesterday? You told us you were going to batter us. Yeah? You're not winning anything. Marshall, I'll tell you what, Marshall, do me a favor. Sorry for picking on this one guy. Do me a favor, Marshall. Tell me in the chat, what are you winning this year? Because your fan base, you're going on like you're fresh off a treble. You guys had a good year last year after we finished above you for about 7 or 8 years in a row. You have one good year where you finish second, and all of a sudden you're looking down at everyone else in the league like, you can't beat us. We're going to batter you. You're not that good.
Yeah,
you're a good team. You're not Man City.
Nope.
Right? We're a team. You're 4 years into your project with your manager that won an FA Cup with Emery's squad. With his own squad, can't win jack. We're 6 games into our project with our manager, and we were better than you. We had more possession than you. We had more big chances than you, more passes than you, right? And yet you told us we were rubbish. So get back in your box. You're not Man City. Sorry,
no facts. You can't be predicting 5-1s and 4-0s, yeah, and then come out salty and say, oh yeah, but you couldn't beat us. Nah, less of that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Can't be doing that. You know what I mean? We can't be doing that now. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is, man. So
do you know the thing as well, Rants, right? It was this, right? It was all week I've been watching, even if I was on the show or not, right? I've been watching, I'm sure you must have seen this. All these people that seem fixated on joint 11s, right? Like drives me mad because straight away all players are picked for different manager systems. But anyway.
Yeah, but the funny thing is on paper, yeah, if you do a combined 11, yeah, they're probably going to give Arsenal more players. But look what you done to Arsenal.
But it wasn't just more players, right? I was seeing Arsenal fans putting in 10 Arsenal players. Yeah. Some of them were going, I don't know, Maddison maybe, but not quite as good as Odegaard. And I'm like, right, you've got no Spurs players in this 11. Well, our fullbacks were better than yours. Our centre-backs were excellent. Maddison and Basuma were excellent. Sonny showed Gabriel Jesus how to score a goal, right? So what is it about these 11s?
Yeah, but the funny thing is, yeah, if you actually look at it, yeah, and you pick it on performances and you don't just pick it on names, yeah. I said before the game, yeah, and it's on wax, I said this Tottenham midfield's going to deal with this Arsenal midfield. I said it. It was obvious. You know, like that. Declan Rice is like one of the most overrated players to ever breathe oxygen, yeah? And then you've got Vieira, who is, again, nothing, bro. These are the kind of players, yeah? When Arsenal have 90% possession, all these guys look good. Do you know what I'm saying? But in a proper game of football, yeah? what are you going to do? Like, do you know what I mean? Rice and Vieira and then Odegaard. Bro, when I saw that midfield, I said, yo, Tottenham midfield going to deal with these lot. And then in the second half, when they brought on Havertz and Jorginho, it was the same thing, bruv. Like, that Tottenham midfield three, yeah, cooked up all Arsenal's midfielders. Everything they had to offer, bar Partey, got dealt with. Your whole midfield, all 5 of them. You know, like that. So, and if you did a combined 11, they wouldn't put any of those players in. So this is what I mean. The combined 11 thing don't really mean anything. Because if we're doing a combined 11, yeah, like Maddison's Maddison, innit? Maddison gets in my combined 11. Basuma gets in my combined 11. And then the third spot's up for grabs. If you don't want to give it to Sarr, who was immense, by the way, do you know what I mean? What, do you give it to Rice? For what? Because of his name. But what's he actually done, though? Nothing.
I'm so frustrated, Rants, because like even now, what makes me laugh is I did a video this morning, right, called, and it just said literally as brazen as this. It said Arsenal fans wind your neck in, and you know what it is? I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing it from all the Arsenal fans in your chat. Rather than just turn around and be grown up and go, do you know what? Yeah, we were wrong, right? You were better than we thought. We didn't batter you. We were wrong. What you're getting now is, oh, look at this shit club.
Yeah, you didn't beat us, but it's like you were the home team and you got cooked at home.
You told us you were going to batter us. I came on here last week, said 2-2. I went on to Big Six, 2-2. I've said 2-2 all week, right? I've said Arsenal are the better club. Arsenal are advanced in their project with their manager. This is Arteta's squad. Yeah, Big Ange got 2 or 3 of his own players, right? You should have beaten us. So when we get a draw, it's not Spurs fans going, oh my God, look at, we're celebrating massively. We're celebrating because you guys, right? You guys mugged us off. You didn't give us a chance on any show. You could pick any YouTube channel you want. I've watched
I didn't hear a single Arsenal fan that didn't think that they would win comfortably.
Right, comfortably. Right? Do you know what? If they had come to me, Rants, and said, do you know what, Sav, I think we're going to scrape this. I'd go, fair play to you. Yeah, you're the home team.
I didn't even hear 2-1.
No, 3-0, 4-0, 4-1, 5-1, right? And this is the thing, right? This is the thing. Like this guy in your chat, Rickin, he cracks me up, man.
Nah, but Rickin is he's sour. Like he is because, bro, really he was sour. In my watch along, yeah?
Really
and
sour.
He was like, yo, these guys are cooking us. He was pissed. He knows that. But now he's out here battling for his team. But deep down, he knows they got cooked. He knows, innit? But he just fighting back. It's just, that's like when these guys are saying, oh, why didn't you beat us? You were at home. It was always on you.
Yeah, to
come out and win the game, and you didn't even get close to winning the game. Like you got an own goal and you got gifted a penalty. Like that was about it. That you got outplayed at home. You didn't look like the home team outside of the first 15 minutes of the game. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them things where
humble.
Like as the home team, you have to beat the opposition. That's your job. Like that's it. You can't say to Spurs if you were so good. If they were saying, if you're so good, why didn't you beat us? No, that's not how football works. Do you know what I mean? You're the home team. You're the team that has to beat what's in front of you, and you couldn't do it. And you didn't come close to doing it either.
It cracks me up, man. Like, do you know, some of the excuses I've heard, friends? I mean, do you know what? We did a show yesterday morning. So at 10 o'clock, we did a build-up show. And me and 5 other Spurs YouTubers, we started writing down live on screen, right, what are the Arsenal excuses? Let's get them ready for when they don't beat us, right? And it was, oh, Timber and Partey were injured. But Rants, they already knew that in the lead up to the week where they predicted 5-0 and 5-1, right? Martinelli didn't play, but you knew Martinelli was 50-50. You knew he might not play. It was all of this stuff. Now that we get the draw, right?
Yep.
They're now coming going, oh, but Declan Rice went off injured. But Trossard, but Martinelli. Let me tell you something. I don't know if you guys know, but one of our best players, Rodrigo Bentancur, has been injured for 9 months, right? One of our best players. Last year, he was our best player.
Yeah, I'm not even trying to see him under this manager because he's going to, oh, my days.
So no Spurs fan in the build-up mentioned, we're missing Bentancur, right? We had 20-year-old Udogie at left-back against Starboy. We had 20-year-old Papa Sarr in midfield against Declan Rice and Odegaard, right? We had 22-year-old Mickey van der Ven, who was sensational and has been all season, right? We've got all these, Brennan Johnson making his full debut, right? Yep. And then these fans are going, oh, but we missed Martinelli. All right. We got Lo Celso injured, Bentancur injured, Maddison went off injured.
Martinelli's a seasoned Premier League player. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, you got a kid at left wing. Like, madness. And you know what kills me about this as well? When I'm saying our marginal differences weren't complete game changers. Are you going on, like the save that your goalkeeper made from what's his name? From your young winger. That kid? What's his name? From Brendan, what's his name?
Who's that? From
your left winger.
Our left winger, Emmanuel Solomon, Brennan Johnson.
Brennan Johnson, that's the one. The save that the keeper made, where he miskicks it, talking about fine margins. what about the cross that got blocked? I think it was by Gabriel, yeah, desperate. Son's tapping that in. Do you know what I mean? After Spurs opened you up. Like, listen, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. When you're talking about fine margins, they're like, yeah, but if Gabriel Jesus scored, yeah, like, what do you mean, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Your defender, last gasp block from that cross, Spurs are scoring. Goalkeeper makes a save, yeah, that in hindsight, yeah, the save looks better than it actually was because there was no pace on it, but it's still a save he had to make. So when you're talking about fine margins, yeah, bro, your defenders and your goalkeeper kept you in the game as well. And you got given a penalty, and you should have had a red card given against you as well. Do you know what I mean?
You.
So
I was going with that.
So, bro, like when Arsenal fans are talking about our fine margins, bro, you should have had 10 men, and you could have conceded 4 or 5 goals. Like,
and you
let's
didn't
keep
score.
it.
You didn't score a clean goal in open.
You didn't score an open play goal either. Like, but these, what are you talking about? When I'm hearing these excuses,
they were going to rip us 5-0. We're going to lose 5-0. We're going to lose 5-0. There's no way this Spurs team. It makes you laugh. Look, for me, I've said all season, nothing's changed for me after that game. I've kept everything the same. My predictions on the season are the same. My prediction on Postecoglou, my thoughts and wants for what I want the club to do in the next windows are the same. But it was just so nice to see these fans that, honestly, right, so Friday morning, Rants, right? I do a show every morning at 10 a.m. Friday morning, I had about 600-700 people in the chat. And I honestly, it felt like 300 of them must be Arsenal fans, right? It was just overtaken. The hype in the chat was just phenomenal. And I said to them, when you don't beat us, you make sure you come back into my chat on match day. 2 or 3 of them maybe did to say fair play. The rest of them missing in action. Like they can't just turn around. Look at these Arsenal people like Rickon can't turn around and go, do you know what? Fair play. You're better than we thought. We were a bit overzealous. But they don't. What they do is they go, oh yeah, Spurs played well, but there's got to be a but. Declan Rice went off injured. Really? Is that so did James Maddison when we were on top. So did Sonny. Imagine Son and Maddison didn't go off.
No, but this is what it is. So you know what it is, yeah? Like, even with the Spurs thing, like, it's not even about being humble, yeah? Like, I don't expect Spurs to be humble after that performance because, 1, Arsenal were dishing it out, yeah? And they dish it out anyway. And 2, they're playing some elite football and they're getting results as well. And they're excited because they got a new manager. I got excited last season when I had a new manager. Like, it's very normal to get a new manager and be excited. And you've got new players that are playing well. So it's very, very normal to be excited about what you're seeing. I ain't seen no Spurs fans talking about, all right, cool, like, we're going to win the league. If I saw that, then that's when I would be like, all right, cool. This is when I'm not having it. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm not seeing that. I'm just seeing Spurs fans that are just excited for the football that they're playing and that they're going in the right direction, which is completely allowed. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And you know what? I don't need recognition from the Arsenal fans. What I want the Arsenal fans to do, is take themselves off their imaginary pedestal that they've built for themselves for some reason, right? And watch other teams play football. You were all talking about my team like you understood the style. You were talking about us like we were Marcel Bielsa's Leeds. We're not. We're not that open. You found that out. You couldn't break us down. You had no answer to Mickey van der Ven for a start. Mickey van der Ven bossed your forwards. Yeah, Saka, where was he? Right? Where was Eddie Nketiah? These guys didn't do anything.
Nketiah's only chance was from Udogi's back pass that he got onto. And again, it was a near post. It wasn't even really like a full chance. Like, if he scores from there, you're looking at your goalkeeper funny. Do you know what I mean? It was a half chance at best. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So that's all I ask is next time, listen, I'm all for it, right? I'm all for it. I'm all for the back your own team, but I'm not for the delusional. Like, I just don't get it. Come and say, do you know what? I think it's going to be a tight game. We might win this. Or do you know what? 2-0. But it was the 4s and 5s, oh, but you opened.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
So sorry, just really frustrated with them all week. I've been dealing with those trolls. And then today, woke up and it's as though their brains haven't remembered what happened, right? I get it. Do you know what? Last thing I'll say on this. If Man City fans were coming into my chat the day before a game at Etihad, yeah, going, we're going to put 4 past you, I'd sit there and go, do you know what? Yeah, quite possibly. Quite possibly. Yeah, because you know what? You're a world-class team with world-class players and a world-class manager. But I've got these Arsenal fans out here who are digging us out for not winning things. These guys don't look like they're winning anything lately. What have they looked like they're close to winning lately? Like, so where is this chest and this confidence coming from? In the last, all right, you won an FA Cup in the last 4 or 5 years, whatever. Okay. But since then, you've not looked like doing anything. So, yeah, these Arsenal fans are just crazy. Crazy
No,
times.
bro, I get it, and it's just the vindication in it. Like after all them not talking all that rubbish, bro. And the thing is, I've had to deal with it my whole life, innit? Because for a lot of my life, it was Man United versus Arsenal. So I used to hear all the nonsense, even though they only got like 3 Premier League titles, innit? But like, no, I get it. Do you know what I mean? So like, I get it. Them men are always the loudest, innit? But we'll see at the end of the season, they're always the loudest, and then they're the quietest. Because in the summer when they didn't win anything, you just didn't hear from them, innit? And this is what happens. They're super loud, and then they're just quiet again for the summer. Then they're back, super loud, and it's quiet. But the silence always comes. You know, like that, and this is just what it is. So considering you guys are like 4 months in and they're 4 years in, like right. I know who should be happiest, because when I look at this Arsenal team, they don't look any closer to winning trophies than they did last season. If anything, they look further away.
They've regressed.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what? Deep down, right? Do you know what? I'll tell you what, Rants. I'll take my Spurs hat off, take your Man U hat off. These guys can take their Arsenal or whoever you support. Everyone in the chat, take your hat off, right? Now look at it from a purely football point of view. Arsenal have regressed from last year, from the evidence we've seen so far. It's early in the season, but from what I've seen in all 6 games from Arsenal, I've not been impressed in any of them. From when I've watched, and I don't mean watching 3 minutes, I mean watching your games. You didn't impress me v Forest. Didn't impress me v Palace. Didn't impress me versus Fulham. Didn't impress me versus Everton. Didn't impress me yesterday. You have gone and spent 220 million in a summer where you're telling everybody that Arteta's getting backed and you're going to go and challenge, and you look worse.
Yep.
Why? I'll tell you why. Because your manager's not as good as you lot make out. Yep. Some of your players are not as good as you make out. Like when I was me and do you know Daps from Never a Foul?
Yeah. He's on there.
Yeah. Me and Daps a while back. God, he might not remember this. Me and Daps a while back were talking about when they would say, like, here you go. I know where it was. I was on Football Terrace and I was asked, right, how many Arsenal players will get into Man City's team? And I was like, not many. Like, I don't think any. And they were like, oh no, but surely Saka over what? Over Bernardo Silva? Over Phil Foden? Over Riyad Mahrez? Nah, I'm not taking Saka over them. Odegaard, what? Over Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan? Nope. Like, the only one I was given a chance to was Saliba. He's the only one that I go, yeah, you could probably go in there and play with Man City's back 4.
And even that's questionable. You know, like that. So
it's
just one of them ones. Because at the moment, when you look at them right now, they got Vardio. So when you look at their team now, it's kind of like, bro, like City are the only team in the league that have genuine world-class players in multiple positions. They're the only team. Right. Like I was having this conversation in my group chat. They were like, oh, if you're top 5 players in the Premier League, does it mean you're world-class? And I was like, bro, it depends. Like I said, it depends, because it's like when you're picking top 5s, yeah, it has to be specific to positions. Because you can't have a top 5, yeah, for instance, and then you've got like 2 goalkeepers in there, 2 attackers, no defenders, and that. Whoa, how's that a top 5? Do you know what I mean? That doesn't make no sense. Because when you look at real world class players, yeah, in the Premier League outside of Man City, you're probably looking at Liverpool's goalkeeper. Do you know what I'm saying? You could say Mo Salah. Do you know what I mean? You could say Mo Salah because of the longevity of what he's done. You can say Cass because of what he's done. Not necessarily.
I think Rodri.
No, but outside of Man City.
Oh, sorry.
Outside of Man City.
Oh, right.
Man City have all the world class players.
Alisson,
all of them.
Alisson and Salah.
Alisson and Salah for Liverpool. For Man United, really only Casemiro and Varane, yeah, you could say are proven world-class players. They've done it 5 Champions League. That's it for Man United. That's the only ones. Like Tottenham, there's none now because Harry Kane's not there. You could say Son if you want to, but Son's form for the last couple years ain't been good enough. So I wouldn't even put Son in there. Chelsea, world-class players, I wouldn't give them any.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, come on. I wouldn't even
I
wouldn't even say Thiago Silva now. Thiago Silva's about 40. Do you know what I mean? I say Thiago's about 40. Like, Enzo's are almost, but almost don't count. Like, it's either you're there or you're not there. Like, you can't put Konate in there. Based on what? Like, bro, Liverpool's world-class players are Alisson and Salah. That's it. Not even what's his name? Not even the centre-back now. Because he ain't that, bruv. Last couple of years, he's been washed. Like, man have to be real. Like, there's no real. Van Dijk, not even Van Dijk.
You can't tell Rants that what's Rants talking about. Son has been balling for the last 2 years.
Son has not been balling for the last 2 years.
He was balling, if we want to call it that, for one of the last 2 years, and the year after that was very average. But Rants, you're right. Honestly, I look at the Premier League now. I've said this for years. Yes, there's some good teams and there's some good systems, but the world-class players aren't here.
Bro, 7 of the last 10 Champions Leagues have been won by non-English teams, bro.
Yes.
Like, that tells you everything you need to know. So when everyone talks and says, the Premier League's where all the best players, they are, it isn't. Do you know what I'm saying? And the Champions League shows that. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you see the stat, that English teams struggle against Spanish teams, like in knockout games, Spanish teams have got English teams on toast. Do you know what I'm saying? We watched an old Real Madrid smash Liverpool off the pitch and smash Man City. And I think they beat Chelsea as well. I think they beat 3 English teams on the way there, bro. Like, this league is not full of world-class players. No. There's a handful.
Mate, I agree. I've been pushing this agenda for years. When people talk to me about the Premier League, listen, the Premier League is quick. It's exciting. I'll be honest with you. Watch how many teams, right? Watch how many teams can't defend. Yeah. World class, right? Top league has to be teams that can defend as well as attack. And we're now a league that's built off the back of loads of goals, but not really anyone who can defend. Right, you've got teams in this league. Sheffield United let in 8 yesterday. I'm going to go out on a hunch.
Could have been 18. Flipping hell. You see how they were defending?
And say that no one from Bundesliga, Serie A, or La Liga this weekend let in anywhere close to 8 goals. I'm going to go out on a hunch and say I don't reckon anyone even conceded, I don't know all the scores, 5 or 6. Right? No, this is what I mean. So. For me, there's too much talk around. Like, people talk about the physicality of the Premier League. Who? You can't tackle. What physicality?
It ain't nowhere near as physical as it used to be.
Okay, Bayern beat Bochum 7-0. Okay, cool. Bayern beat Bochum 7-0. Cool.
Was that the Harry Kane hat-trick game?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But I think that the teams in La Liga, I think the teams in Serie A, and the teams in the Bundesliga are starting to the last 3 or 4 years, Rants, I think they're all raising their game. But fans who don't watch any other leagues don't know them.
No, but you know what it is also as well? Like, in the other leagues, teams are running out of money. That's why, because if you look at the Premier League, all the money's here. But when you look at Barcelona, they ain't got no money no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Barcelona ain't going out spending 200, 300 million. They got no money. They're doing little free transfers and loans to buy and that. Real Madrid aren't doing the Galactico thing no more. The money's not there anymore. Whereas in the Premier League, the money's still there. Do you know what I'm saying? So because of that, the other leagues are becoming more interesting now. Like, I think they're saying what Girona was like top of La Liga at some point, bro. Like,
another good team that people won't have watched.
And when you look at their players, I didn't recognize any of their players apart from Daley Blind. I didn't recognize any of them.
I watched Girona twice this season because my mate who watches the league all the time, has got a YouTube channel on it, said, watch Girona. And I was like, Girona? And he was like, yeah, watch him. And I was like, oh, wow, like, you're playing football. Like, I watched last night Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid. I'm going to put it out there and say Atletico Madrid beat everybody in this league pretty comfortably apart from Man City.
You can't even argue that, bro. And they smoked Real Madrid yesterday. I watched the game.
Yeah, they looked really good. And you know, do you know the thing is, Rants, all you'll hear, you mention, let me ask you a question. If I mentioned Atletico Madrid to the average Premier League fan who doesn't watch any other league, what's the first thing they'll say about Atletico Madrid and the way they play?
Defensive.
Right. What do Atletico actually do?
Yeah, they're not defensive. They smoked Real Madrid yesterday, and it wasn't defensive.
Right. But this is the thing.
They're just very tactically astute, and they're very disciplined. You know what I mean? They're not free flowing, and they're not open. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. They're very much defense first, but they're not a defensive team. Like Real Madrid got battered yesterday to the point where Carlo made a triple substitution 50 minutes into the game.
I'll be honest. People are gonna laugh at me. I don't think Real Madrid are going to be anywhere near this season's Champions League because they for me have got a lot of individual talent.
It's just names.
I watch them as a team and I'm like, I don't know what you are. Right? I don't know what they are. But do you know what we've had for years in this country, Rants? We've had all the people on Sky Sports saying things like, oh, but could this player do it on a cold night in Stoke? Yeah. Could these world-class players come to the Premier League and do it against Stoke? Yes.
Against Rory Delap and them guys.
All these fans going like, this is the key one. Sorry to bring Messi into it, but it was like, oh, but, you know, Messi never proved it in the Premier League. What do you mean? Messi played the best teams in the Premier League in the Champions League and ran rings around them. You think he's going to go to Stoke City and at the time, the likes of Rory Delap, Higginbotham, Ryan Shawcross are going to get near Lionel Messi? Like,
yeah, bro. Phil Bardsley and them guys. Bro, this is what it is, yeah. And Messi's got more goals, yeah, against the top four in the Premier League than a lot of players that have played. Yeah, that have played in the Prem. You know, like that. Man think he ain't gonna do it, and this is what I mean. Like, hey, it's crazy, bruv. Like, I can't even lie. And like, even this thing about Carlo tactically messing up. Carlo ain't messed up. You know what it is, yeah? You gotta understand, Carlo don't do the recruitment at Real Madrid. Real Madrid are a team now that have so many individuals that they're trying to fit in that Carlo's changed the formation to try and accommodate Jude Bellingham and accommodate other players. And that's why they're playing like almost like a 4-4-2 diamond with Jude in the free role, and they're playing Rodrigo as a striker, Vinny as a striker. Neither of them are really strikers. They're trying to shoehorn players into a system, that doesn't really suit the majority, but it suits Bellingham because he's getting the goals, but he's not really playing well. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like they're carrying Bellingham off the ball, like.
Yeah.
Because he's not contributing. Like, when you watch the build-up, he's not involved in the build-up. Like, he's just floating around looking for pockets, getting on the end of tap-ins, and everyone's talking about how good he is. But it's like, the balance of Real Madrid's team is not there. Vinny's not a striker. Rodrigo is not a striker. And they've got loads of
like 75 centre mids.
Yeah, it's crazy. They played Rodrigo and Vinny as strikers yesterday, and Joselu didn't start. They took Joselu out. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it didn't make sense because he's literally their only striker and he's the only one that wants to make those runs and run away from the ball. So they've got zero balance. Like, I watched them yesterday and they got their pants pulled down yesterday because Atletico have a bunch of players that are playing in the positions they know how to play. And it was just a mad thing.
Do you know what? I said this in the summer. I'll stand by it now after watching them a few times in the league and in the Champions League the other day. Where they have messed up is not buying a centre forward. Yeah, and listen, Joselu is good in the air. He's decent hold up. But this is Real Madrid. The number 9 for Real Madrid, you look at for the last 12, 13 years, has been Ronaldo or Benzema, right? You can't go from that. No offense, you can't go from that to Joselu. You can't. You've got in the summer they should have been bidding 120 million for Harry Kane. They should have been bidding for Osimhen. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, but that's what I'm saying. And especially the fact that they didn't get Mbappe. Bro, go and get a proper... Bro, like the fact that they can go into a season with Joselu as their striker. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and that's no disrespect to him because he scored a very good goal against us and everything like that. it shows, yeah, the same problem that Chelsea have right now. Chelsea spent £1 billion. How you spend £1 billion and you ain't got a 9?
Yeah.
Like,
Do you know
how
the
do you
funny
spend £1
thing?
billion? You ain't got a 9. Go and put 150 million down for Osimhen and say we're not leaving until you give me this guy. Like, this is what you do. You don't just buy players. You buy players where you need players. Chelsea saying, "Oh, our biggest problem is scoring goals." So why do you spend all that money on centre backs and right backs and that? Like, bro, it don't even make no sense. Like, when I look at this Chelsea team right now, there's that the centre back that they brought in. That I don't know his name. Yeah, that guy. It's like, bro, you're forcing what's his name out that was in the youth team, the centre back Chalobah out. But it's like, this Disasi bro ain't better than Chalobah.
No.
Like, why did you bring him in? Like, go get a striker. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing?
Do you know what doesn't make sense to me is I look at PSG this window, what they've done. Right, they've bought in Gonzalo Ramos and Kolo Muani.
Yep.
And I'm thinking to myself, both of those two boys know how to put the biscuit in the basket.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, if I'm Real Madrid, I'm going to get one of them. If I'm Real Madrid, I'm getting Kane. I'm getting Osimhen. I don't care. I am going to wherever I need to go and say, hey, this is where my money needs to go. All their big money obviously went on Bellingham, which I'm not doubting Bellingham, right? But what I'm saying is in an area of the pitch where they've got Cruz, Modric, Valverde, Chouameni,
Camavinga, bro, you got enough.
And for me, I'm just thinking to myself, you're going to miss out. You don't win like that Champions League. The difference is going to be in that Champions League. And, okay, let me start this again. Do you know, I was having this conversation with Lee Gunner. Ask him when you speak to Lee next, when he's next on your show. I was in a WhatsApp group with Lee, and he was like, Real Madrid, they're going to boss everything. They're a different class. I turned around and said, I don't rate them. Not I don't rate them. I don't rate them as the best. Right?
Yeah, they got no balance.
And I said, I truly believe when push comes to shove and once Man City are in full flow, this Man City team over 2 games take Real Madrid apart. Again, they gave them a footballing lesson last year. And they're going to give them another footballing lesson this year if they play them, because you can put names on a pitch.
Mm-hmm.
But Ancelotti, for me, is too old school now. Like, I'm not seeing a pattern of play. I'm seeing...
You know what it is with Carlo? I don't think he's too old school. You know what I think? I think that the game has evolved away from just having good players and putting them out there. And there has to be some sort of structure, or there has to be some sort of balance. And Carlo is not the guy that recruits. So Carlo's the guy that comes in, Real Madrid buy their names, and Carlo finds a way to play them. Do you know what I'm saying? And that can't work in the modern game no more. It can't work because tactically, every single team you play against comes up with a different problem for you to decipher, innit? And especially when you're playing against a team like Atleti, one thing you know about Atleti is they're going to be drilled.
Yes.
That's one thing you know, innit? It doesn't matter about what players out there, you know. Griezmann was one of the best players in the world in his first stint at Atletico Madrid. And one thing Griezmann has added to his game is work rate. And because he's so intelligent, Griezmann, the way he's adapted his game, is like, it's not spoken about enough. Before, everyone used to talk about the goals he scores. Now you look at Griezmann's pressing, his tackling, his reading of the game, everything like that. It's like when you play Atletico Madrid, you are working for everything. They give you nothing. And one thing you can't afford to do is give Atleti anything, bro. And they went there yesterday and thought, we'll play Bellingham up front. And we'll just see what happens. You can't see what happens against Atletico Madrid. They had Depay, they had Aspilicueta, and what other big name did they have on the bench? Bro, I was looking at their bench, and they just had ballers on the bench, and I was like, no way. They've beat Real Madrid badly with Morata up front. Do you know what I'm saying? And I was like, hold on.
Yeah, look, the interesting thing for me as well, I'll be interested to see what Barcelona do when they play Real Madrid as well. Because like even Barcelona, you watch them, they have a style. They have a pattern of play. It's not just... Listen, they've stuck in Oriol Romeu in centre midfield.
Yeah.
Like it was at Southampton. And yet their formation, their tactics, it works. I watch Madrid and I just think, I don't know, I don't see them as this Galactico, all-conquering team anymore. I think Pep Guardiola has banished them from that.
The manager's trying to shoehorn too many players into that team. The honest truth is, yeah, Bellingham, yeah, don't fit in that team, yeah, in the big games. And if he does, then they have to sacrifice somebody, innit? Like this thing of keeping everyone happy, yeah, you can't win games like that against the better teams. You cannot. Because when you look at this Real Madrid team, at the moment, Vinny didn't play yesterday. They played Jude up front with Rodrigo. Neither of them are strikers. That is insane to me. That is insane to me. Tchouaméni got sacrificed yesterday. He had to come off the bench. And when I'm looking at that team, the team got zero balance, bro. And it's just like, you cannot beat good teams like this. You can't beat good teams like this in the modern game. There's no way. Back in the day, it was similar to like the Brazilian team with the 4-4-2, the 4-4-2 diamond, where no one had positions and stuff. That worked then. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go into this football the way it's played right now and play Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Robinho, Rivaldo all in the same team, yeah, and expect to beat it's not gonna work. Like, football's not that no more.
I agree. I think the teams that play the football, the teams that have the work rate, that have the system, they're the teams that are winning things. Listen, Real Madrid are always going to be there or thereabouts because their top players will see them through 90% of games. But when it comes to beating the big boys, I think they will struggle. I don't think many big teams are going to be worried about them up front. Like, if I'm Man City, if I'm Man City and I'm playing Madrid, I'm thinking to myself, right, okay, Rodri, stick tight on Bellingham, floating around in midfield, and Kyle Walker, just monitor Vinicius.
But the thing is, you don't even have to do that. I'll be real. Like, you see with City's back four, right now, they've got 4 centre-backs as their back four. Really. So, when you look at it, because Real Madrid don't really have a proper striker, unless they're going to play Joselu, who is not going to be any problem for Vardy or Diaz or any of them guys. Let's be real, he's not going to be. So when you look at City up front, I mean Real Madrid up front, they're not playing with width at the moment. Vinny's biggest strength is taking people down the outside. If he plays more narrow, he's less of a threat anyway.
Agreed.
If you're going to play with a strong back four and you don't have a focal point up front, they don't need to worry. As for Bellingham and the midfield, yeah, the way Man City will press off the ball, that will absolutely just take everything else out of Real Madrid and they'll get popped off the park. That's what will happen because there's no outlet. Like, Vinny was the outlet out wide. When he plays down the middle, he's not as effective. Like, if Man City played this Real Madrid team, yeah, they'll batter them. Real Madrid got destroyed yesterday. Anyone that hasn't watched the game, like, even just watch the highlights and see how they got, bro, 3 headers from Morata. 3 headers. It's not even like they had to break them down. They were getting opened up here at will.
Yeah,
like,
it was worrying.
Crazy. It could have been worse.
It was worrying.
Do you know what I mean? It could have been well worse. So it's one of them things where when you look at the modern game now, this comment, Bellingham is becoming Haaland. Well, exactly. And guess what happened with Haaland? Pep had to change the whole formation to accommodate him because it wasn't working. Do you know what I'm saying? But Carlo's not going to change it because he's just got one, Carlo's not really a tactician like that. And 2, he's just trying to fit everyone in and that's it. Do you know what I mean? Pep literally changed the whole formation, brought Stones into centre-back. At one point, they were playing a 3 at the back because the Haaland thing wasn't working. But Pep is Pep. And he changed the whole system to accommodate one player. Carlo's done that. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's not working. Is he going to change it again? He has to. If he doesn't, they're not going to win nothing.
Yeah, no, listen, I completely agree with you. At the end of the day, it's the difference makers in these big games, in these tournaments. You know, Bayern have Kane now. You know, Liverpool have got forwards for fun in their team. Real Madrid, for me, they need a goal scorer. And I know that everyone's going to say they're waiting for Mbappe. I think they need a goal scorer.
Bro, all the signs are saying that Mbappe's staying where he is, mate. He brought all his mates in, bruv. Like, you know what I mean? That PSG, Starting to sign, bro. Colomwani's coming, Dembele's coming. Do you know what I'm saying? He's got the young French guys, and he's taking them under his wing, and it's kind of like, it looks like he's staying there now. There's talks of him extending.
If he does, I've got no respect for him. I'll be honest. If he stays again, if he stays again, Rants, this is his second chance to leave on a free transfer to Real Madrid, the biggest club in the world. Or not just Real Madrid, I'm sure every other big club in the world is going to want him. And if he stays again, don't ever talk to me about putting him in the list of the greats. Don't ever. Not if you're going to sit and play in the French league your whole career.
Listen, money talks, man. That's what they say, innit?
Yeah, it's bad, though. It's bad. Like, people are going to me, Haaland v Mbappe, who would you rather have? I want the one with a mentality. I want the one that started in Norway and went boom, 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 winning everything, right? I don't want the one that's like, I've started in France, I'll stay in France. I gave up my opportunity to move to Real Madrid 2 years ago. I'm going to give the opportunity up this time. I don't want that one. That's nothing to do with his ability as a player.
I know, but this is the one thing I'd say. He's French and he's Parisian, so it's kind of like he's already at home. Do you know what I mean? So it would be no different to if a man's offering Steven Gerrard money to leave Liverpool and he's like, nah, not leaving. It's the same thing, really, though. In theory, it kind of is, though. Except that Liverpool never had like the money that PSG have got, so people can look at it and say it's a money
in France.
I know what you mean, but again, like, because we are born here, we look at it completely different. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas he's looking at it like, listen, all my friends are here. I'm from Paris. I can have as much money as I want. I can bring all my friends here. Like, why would I leave? Do you know what I'm saying? It's just like if Gerrard could have brought his mates to Liverpool. And he could have said, you know what, like, do you know what I mean? Scholesy, come Liverpool. Like, and XYZ, come Liverpool. Maybe it'd have been a different story, but PSG can literally go and get whoever he wants, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, he doesn't need to leave. He can bring all his friends to him.
I'll tell you what, the best comment I've just read is, Sava, he's better than any Spurs player. No.
Yeah, but what's that got to do with anything? What's that got to do with the conversation, though?
I love that. There was me picking Brennan Johnson over Kylian Mbappe. But listen, I get it, right? But let's be fair. When you look at the greats, right? When you look at the greats, and I know people are chuck loads of names now, most of them, right? And this isn't about English arrogance.
Now, they went out there chasing legacy, for sure.
I've not mentioned this. See, the thing is, fans like Khalifa Real said English arrogance. No, I'm telling him. I hate to break the news to people, and I don't want to make this into a geography lesson, Rants. Real Madrid don't play in England. I'm telling him, go to Real Madrid. They play in Spain, right? My point is, the greats, all went and had a legacy at the world's biggest clubs because there's a difference, right? There's a difference between being one of the best players in the world, right, and having it comfortable. There's a difference between being one of the best players in the world, i.e., let's use the two obvious ones, Messi and Ronaldo. The pressure they were under minute after minute, game after game, week, month, year after year, for a decade, right, at Madrid and Barcelona, the pressure to deliver is what makes you great. The pressure to keep winning the biggest tournaments in world football year in, year out is what makes you great. That's a pressure that Mbappe doesn't know. I'm sorry, he doesn't know that because he's at PSG and it's, all due respect, it's okay, but it's not winning La Liga year after year. It's not winning Champions Leagues. It's not winning the Premier League. You've got to go and cement your legacy if you want to have those conversations. Yeah, nothing about his ability. He is one of very few world-class players out there. But up there, for me, I just think he's got it all wrong. Just for me, only for me.
You know what? I'm torn on this because it's kind of like, I get in general, times have changed, innit? So it's kind of like there's less of a motivation to chase legacy because
I hear you.
Because remember, when we grew up watching football, the best players got paid the most money. That's how it used to work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Now you can be crap, yeah, and go to Saudi for 700 grand like Jordan Henderson.
I was about to say Jordan Henderson.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
because of that, it's like usually if you chase legacy, chase greatness, the money comes with it. But now you can get the money without being the best, without wanting to be the best, without chasing legacy. You don't need legacy anymore. Because when you look at all of these footballers, yeah, like these guys like Graham Souness talking about how good they were, even though he wasn't that good, yeah, and talking about putting medals on the table. But bro, you're still working and you're like 80. Do you know what I'm saying? So you're going mad at Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba could retire right now.
No, sure. Listen,
do you know what I'm saying? He can retire
it.
right now with his 4 Scudettos, his World Cup, all of these things, and have way more money than him. So
I get it.
It's kind of like with Mbappe, if he's gonna get paid as much money as he can ever dream of already where he is, he's in the city that he was born. He can bring all his friends there. Do you know what I mean? He can still win the Champions League there. Maybe he won't, but he still can. Technically, La Liga probably is not as competitive as the French league from top to bottom. It might have the best 2 or 3 teams at the top, but in terms of competitiveness, yeah, the French league's had the most amount of winners in the last 10 years. Like, when you're looking at all the things together, Mbappe's like, yo, I can be great here, bruv. Like, I've already got a World Cup. I can win another one. Do you know what I mean? France is probably the best country in the world in terms of producing talent right now.
So you put him anywhere near Messi or Ronaldo?
Hell no, but he'll never be anywhere near them because he just.
But for me,
maybe, yeah, he just won't be anywhere. Okay, maybe Ronaldo, maybe. I reckon he could get to where Ronaldo is, yeah, but I don't think he can get near Messi. I don't even put Ronaldo near Messi anyway.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I mean, you know, I don't either. Messi, Ronaldo, and then. But my point is this. My point is, I get all that. I'm coming at it purely from a football point of view, not finance, not all. I'm coming at it from the big players. Like look at Man City. The big thing that's being thrown at them. Can they handle the big pressure? Can they win the Champions League? You know, Haaland's gone and been a difference maker, right? Yeah, Man City were winning leagues every year, so you can't say, oh, they won the league because of Haaland. But you can say, well, hang on, is it a coincidence that in year 1 they bring in that top goal scorer, he bangs in goals for fun in the Champions League, and they win it? The thing for me, Mbappe, no one's discrediting his ability as a player. For me,
and I think he's the French captain now as well. I think they gave him the armband.
I just want to see. I want to see him go to a club where there is pressure. Like I'm not talking PSG pressure. I'm talking about, we talked about earlier, Rants. You go to Real Madrid, you have 2 bad games, they got those little handkerchiefs out.
No, you're right. But I still think
pressure.
But I think Mbappe is under pressure, but it's a different pressure because he's the French captain now.
True.
He's the face of French football. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's at the biggest club in France. They want to win the Champions League. He's almost the face of French football, bruv. So it's like, to be playing in France, to be playing in Paris, to be the face of the PSG project, I think there's pressure that comes with that because he's expected to lead them to a Champions League. So I think there is pressure there for him. Yeah, it might not be the same pressure, but I think there's still pressure there.
There is, but it's not the same, is it? This is what I mean. I mean, like, I remember watching the Messi documentary, and he's just said, like, they interviewed him a day after Barcelona had won the Champions League when he was younger. And they were like, you must be so happy. And he said, no, we go again. He went, they don't let you stop. Like, he was literally saying, you don't stop. We won it. That was yesterday. We celebrate now. Next week when we go, we go again. And the thing is, for me, that pressure, not many footballers, the elite can do it. The elite can carry you. Yeah, Messi can carry you. Ronaldo can carry you. The old Ronaldo could carry you. Like the George Bests, you know, these are elite footballers. Mbappe, arguably one of the best 2 players in world football right now, for sure. But for me, I will never talk about him in those breaths until he leaves and goes and lights up a Barcelona, a Real Madrid, takes them to, like, go to Barca. Tell you what, go to Barcelona, who've been nowhere near winning the Champions League for years. Yeah, fallen off a little bit. Go there, win a Champions League, right? Go there, be the man, be the guy.
What if he wins a Champions League at PSG though? He's got Luis Enrique.
I hear this every year. Do you know what I mean?
I know, but they've got Luis
problem.
Enrique now, innit? I don't think they will win one, but I'm just playing devil's advocate because it's like I can see both sides, innit? Do you know what I mean? I can see both sides of the argument because even La Liga now is not what La Liga was. Like El Clasico could be on right now. I'm not watching it. Do you know what I mean? Like whereas before, I wouldn't miss one, and I've watched El Clasicos my whole life because I was born, and then remember you've got Romario, and then you've got Rivaldo, and then you've got R9, then you've got Ronaldinho, then you've got Neymar. Like these Brazilians, like I've just grown up seeing these Brazilian tens at Barcelona, and now there's no one, bruv. Do you know what I mean?
This is what I mean. So now imagine.
So it's like that league ain't the same no more. So it's like it's not the same prestige like anymore to go play in the El Clasico.
But Real Madrid is still.
Bruv.
Yeah, but Real Madrid. Okay, so now imagine Barcelona signed Mbappe, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, just in an alternative world before the chat goes mad. It's not happening. Let's say this summer, right? Erling Haaland goes to Real Madrid. Right, and Mbappe. No, let's do it the other way around. Makes more sense. Mbappe goes to Real Madrid. Erling Haaland goes to replace Lewandowski at Barcelona. Now all of a sudden you've got the matchup. Right?
Yeah, now it is
who's going to drag their team to it, and then for the next decade you've got Mbappe versus Haaland. At the moment, I haven't got Mbappe versus Haaland. One of them's doing it.
It's Haaland versus Ivan Toney, but Ivan Toney's out. You know,
right? This is my point.
You know what I mean?
This is my point.
The same, bro.
This is my point. But La Liga is getting better. You look at the teams like you watch Real Sociedad play football. Good team. Two midfielders I would take from them. The Italian league, slowly but surely.
No, the Italian league is making a resurgence. If anything, it's probably the best league in the world in terms of in its entirety, in terms of everything that's going on there, style of play, quality of players, how well they defend, how well they attack, everything. Like La Liga is not as impressive to me. The Premier League's has been a one-horse race for a while, even though Liverpool and Arsenal pretended to do something, but not really. Do you know what I mean? Like this is,
but it's cycles, Rants. It's cycles, right? It's cycles. Soon that will come back. Madrid, Barcelona, that will come back. La Liga will have its time as the best league. Listen, you're a tiny bit younger than me, but roughly the same age. In my lifetime, I've seen Serie A be the best league. I've seen La Liga be the best league. I've seen the Premier League be the best league, right? Even when I was growing up, France was a top league. France had ballers everywhere, right? So it goes in swings and roundabouts, right? And that will still be the same as we move forward. We will have the same as we go forward. This Dylan bloke in your chat is hilarious, by the way. He's just everything he said is belittling City, and then Haaland has 8 goals and he missed 7 clear tap-ins. He's still got only 8 goals in 6 league games. He is awful, that bloke.
That's
Shocking.
What I'm saying. Listen, Erling Haaland is Erling Haaland. At the end of the day, you're right, yeah? Matchups, yeah? But to be fair, Messi and Ronaldo started this, and they kind of ruined football in loads of ways because they ruined football with the rivalry. Do you know what I mean? Because we never had that before, because it was one of them ones where there were so many good footballers around, there weren't rivalries. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, Ronaldinho never had a rival when he played. Ronaldinho was just Ronaldinho, bruv. Pavel Nedved replaced Zidane at Juventus. Like, there weren't no rivalry. It's like Zidane left, and then Nedved came in, and then Nedved's a legend as well. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, they were just good players everywhere. And good players just replaced good players, played against good players, played with good players. Now, it's like, Ronaldo and Messi carrying football. It's like, there were loads of other good footballers. But because of the social media and everything like that, it just kind of, everything was Messi versus Ronaldo and all that. And it's like, forget that, bruv.
I think the problem was when we were growing up, if you look at the 2 decades when we were growing up, or the 2 decades before Messi and Ronaldo, right? Yeah. There were so many good players, Rants, that it was never 1 versus 1, right? There were so many good players. You watch the Madrid Barcelona game, it was just like packed full of stars, like the Romarios, the Gutis, the Raul. It was just packed full of stars, right? For whatever era. The problem you had was Messi and Ronaldo were so far above everyone else. I don't care what anyone says. There was Messi and Ronaldo here, and then a group of players down here. So it was always going to be packed. I just didn't see.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't. But again, I don't even. I think that social media makes us believe it was like that, but I don't think it was like that. You know, the ones there. Like, I don't think it was like that because even when you think, yeah, like Messi and Ronaldo are old now in footballing terms.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? But we're forgetting that we saw the Iniestas of this world. You look at Neymar, yeah. Like, bro, when you look at Neymar's numbers, yeah, compared to CR7's numbers, yeah, in his first X amount of games, Neymar was up there, bro. Whether people want to... Gareth Bale was up there. Do you know what I mean? Antoine Griezmann was up there. They never had the longevity of these guys, yeah, but bro,
that's the
like,
difference.
There were players throughout that whole time that were operating at a similar level. Suarez had a season where... A couple seasons, 2-3 seasons where he was operating at that level. There were players that were operating at that level. Hazard as well. Like, bro... That they were players that were operating at that level. Benzema,
but Rants,
they just didn't do it for. They just didn't do it for. They just didn't do it on paper. Do you know what I mean? That's all it was. They were operating at that level, but they didn't operate at that level
periods of time
on paper though as well. Also because they didn't have the stats. Like Modric is still operating at a high level. But it was the stats that Messi and Ronaldo's stats is what made them seem like they were so far away from everyone else.
But the problem was they were though. I mean, those numbers, we talk about stats, those numbers were never seen before.
I know that 100%. But that's just the stats though. There's a lot of players that you can't quantify their abilities by their stats though. There's loads of them.
Sure. But if we look at Neymar, we look at Bale, we look at Hazard, Luis Suarez, stupidly good player, right? These players were great, but for me, there was never that longevity or the consistency of not only hitting the numbers, of running games, of being man of the match week in, week out for different clubs every year. It's the consistency. So, like, for me, there were periods of times when Gareth Bale was phenomenal while he was at Real Madrid. Like, he was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then there were times where it was like, oh, he's dropped. Messi and Ronaldo, the problem is they didn't drop. Like, if Messi or Ronaldo went 2 games without a goal, there was like an inquest into goal droughts after 2 games.
But to be fair, I think they... But see, again, when people say they didn't drop, like, I think there was a drop. But the difference is, yeah, these guys were always surrounded by the best players in the world.
Of course.
Like, do you know what I mean? So even when they did drop off, yeah, their numbers maybe didn't drop off, but their performances visibly did drop off. Like, especially with Ronaldo, like, by the time he'd gone to Juventus, for me, he was finished. Do you know what I mean? Like, finished at the top level.
Oh, like, I agree. By then, he was just a good striker.
By then, he was nothing compared to what I knew him to be. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, because he still kept churning out numbers, yeah, people were still talking about him like he was still operating at the top level, but he wasn't. Like, by the time he went to Juve, his best days were well and truly behind him. Do you know what I mean? And it's just one of them ones, because he had good players around him, he continued to put the numbers out that made people think he was still operating at the top level, but he wasn't. Do you know what I'm saying?
But in terms of, if you look at that rivalry, how long was that rivalry while was it a decade? I don't know the exact number. It must be 8, 9, 10 years that one was at Barca while the other one was at Real Madrid. The thing is, for me,
it would have been something like that.
You're always, look, you know, we're always going to have this debate in the world where it's like, yeah, but these players were always playing with the best. Well, of course, because they are the best. The best players don't play. I'm going to pick a team without offending anyone. The best players don't play down at Brentford, right?
Yeah, they don't. They don't.
You know, it's like when people say, oh, Pep Guardiola's not done it at Aston Villa. Well, why would he? Like, Pep Guardiola does it at the biggest clubs in the world where the pressure is on because he's the best in the world, right? Or one of the best in the world. So for me, consistency is everything. And
100%.
I always put Ronaldo next to him purely because I think I've been media brainwashed. I don't even put Ronaldo anywhere near Messi in terms of ability. But
yeah,
look,
nowhere near.
Now I do look though, and the worrying thing to move this conversation away from those two is I don't see that new crop. I see good players, but I don't. If you said to me, give me 10 worldies on a hand, like proper Messi, Ronaldo type, running games, scoring goals for fun, pluck hat tricks from nowhere.
There's none because the game's not there no more, bro. Like the game, that football is dead. You know what I mean? And that literally, I was having this same conversation earlier with Lewis. That football is dead. And you know why that football is dead? Because street football is dead. There's no individual talents anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All these players that these guys think are good, yeah, they're rubbish, innit, compared to the players we used to watch. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I use the example of these players. Like, most of these players don't have any attributes above a 7 out of 10, but they're worldies. Do you know what I mean? And that's why, and I was given the examples of the Bellinghams and the Sakas. Everyone's like, bruv, Saka's a winger, so was David Ginola, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? And when you compare the two players, yeah, and how they played and what one could do and one couldn't do, bro, the Saka's nowhere near him. And it's just one of them ones where, when David Ginola was playing, no one was saying he was world class. He was just one of very many good players. Do you know what I'm saying?
I was saying he was world class. I'm in love with him.
No, but he was unreal, bro. Like, he was one of my favourite players growing up. Do you know what I mean? Growing up in a house with my mum, that's Tottenham and that. And he used to just be there with the black boots. Do you know what I mean? And flipping, bro, just running past people. Like, do you know what I mean? And it was effortless, scoring goals with both feet from 30 yards.
You know, I agree with you on this front. I agree with you on this front. I think stats more than ever have, to a degree, have ruined football. But yeah, like I mean, I tell you what.
But kids are not out playing in the streets no more. That's why players can't dribble no more. There's no individuals anymore in football. There's no free thinkers anymore in football. Footballers can't think for themselves anymore, and this is why the decision making in the final third is so bad. Do you know what I mean? It's just like all these guys are system robots. That's what they all are, innit? And all these players look the same now. Like, you take most of these players, all these strikers now in the modern game can't score goals. None of them. Why are you a striker if you can't score goals?
No, I agree. Can I just answer? Sorry, just one point somebody's made, right? Sorry, just 2 points. So the first one, that Dylan said, can someone give me a game where they left thinking Haaland is the best in the world? Well, there's many a game where I've left thinking he's the best goal scorer in the world. Yes. Because the boy puts the boy scores goals for fun, but he's not Messi and Ronaldo. That's not his style of play. He's a throwback. Haaland's more a throwback to when we were growing up, to the centre forward. Listen, there's no one like
Haaland is a 90s centre forward.
Right, he's a striker. He's a striker that scores goals. So lots of
but
people.
Even that though, when you look at him, yeah, he's a good finisher, but bro, like when you look at, he doesn't have the variety that strikers used to have in the 90s, early 2000s. And when I mean variety, not just variety of finishes, but most of the strikers, yeah, could finish outside the box as well. You look at Shearer, do you know what I mean? You look at, like, the Batistuttas, the Del Pieros, the Crespos, the Shevchenkos and that. Like, these guys could finish, like, both feet, in the air, in the box, outside the box. These guys are scoring 25-yarders, 30-yarders. Haaland ain't picking up the ball 30 yards and wrapping it in the top corner. He's not. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's a fox in the box.
Yeah, he's a
but he's a modern day athlete. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's tall, he's quick. Like, and also he doesn't have the physical side that all these old strikers that we all bring up, all of them could play with their back to goal, like rough players up, bring people in and stuff. Shearer was great at it. All of these guys could do it. The Vieiris, or the Adrianos. Like, he don't have the variety in his game that any of them players had, bruv. They were all technically better footballers than him.
I think the key thing here, though, is what we mustn't do. I'm not saying you've done this, but what we mustn't do is, I see people say things like, all he does is score goals. And I think to myself, right,
that's not all he does. That's not all he does.
But let's assume in reality, right? Let's assume in this hypothetical world, Rants, that was all he does, right? When all you do is score 50 to 60 goals a season, or 45, 50 goals a season, why on earth is anyone going to find the negative in that? Because you know what? We can talk about Messi having Iniesta and Xavi, and Ronaldo having these players behind him, and Haaland having the players behind him. These guys are the difference makers, because putting the ball in the net, ask Chelsea fans right now, right? Putting the ball in the net, ask Arsenal fans right now. This is the main thing, right? If Haaland is scoring, what did he get last year? 55, something like that.
Something stupid like that, like 52 or something. I don't know.
No one should be in any chat anywhere belittling that. That should be, Jesus Christ, he is so much
That's
better.
crazy, especially in an
everyone
era
else
like this
scoring goals.
where strikers can't finish. Like literally, none of them can finish. Chelsea are gonna get relegated because their strikers can't finish. You know, like that. So they could do with a tapping merchant. I'll be real.
Like someone like, but Ronaldo and Messi were still the best players on their team. But that's got nothing to do with Haaland. Haaland's not there to be the best player on the team.
Yeah, he's just there
Haaland's
to
the icing on
do
the
what
cake.
he needs to do. Yes.
I don't. For me, I'll ask this question. Rants, I'll ask you, right? Name me one team in world football right now that would say no to having Erling Haaland up front in their number 9. But be honest,
apart from Xavi, because he's a hipster, yeah, he might say no. Other than that, I don't see anyone else saying no to Erling Haaland, to be fair.
What, Real Madrid, who don't have a proper out-and-out number 9, right?
Yeah.
Arsenal do not have a proper, I don't care what they say, a proper out-and-out number 9, right? Chelsea do not have an out-and-out number 9. I fail to believe any of these football clubs would go, do you know what? No, he only scores 55 a season. Like, nah, you know what? He can't do 4 step-overs and dribble past 8 players. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's not his job. His job is to score, man.
Didn't I just rate Kane as better than him?
Bro, listen, Kane's a better footballer than him. If someone offers me Kane or Erling Haaland, I'm taking Harry Kane 10 times out of 10, bruv, because Harry Kane can finish and he can do more than him.
I'm not at this age.
No, I'm talking about Kane's abilities, bruv. Like I'm not talking about I'm not comparing the ages because it's like they're almost 2 different eras of footballers now. Do you know what I'm saying? But Harry Kane can finish with both feet, he can head, he can play make. Bro, like he can do everything. Like it's just, to me, it's like if you're gonna give me Harry Kane, Harry Kane maybe might score slightly less, but he'll assist way more, and his overall contribution for the team will be way higher. So I'll take less goals from Kane because I know I'm getting assists as well. You know what I'm saying? Do
you know what? Right, this one cracks me up. Right, do you know right? So someone in the chat said, "Yeah, but him in a normal team, I'm not sure." Right? Can we just spell this myth? Before last year, Erling Haaland wasn't playing for the world's best teams and had still got over 200 goals in his career.
And I think he had the Champions League record or something as well.
Right. Has played for Molde, Red Bull Salzburg, Borussia Dortmund, and for Norway, he has 25 goals in 26 games. Wouldn't they all be considered, Rants, normal teams? Like, why is it now that he can only score? Do you know what? Sorry, this makes me laugh, right? Sorry, I'm ranting today. I know I am, right? I'm hyper today. What makes you laugh is, Rants, it's, but can they do it in the Premier League? They come to the Premier League. He doesn't just do it, smashes it up, and then it's, but could he do it at a normal team? Well, yeah, he's 20, what is he? Just turned 23 and has over 250 career league goals. Yes, he can do it anywhere. Like,
this guy is just a finisher. Like I always say, the goal is the same size everywhere, the ball's the same shape, and the grass is green, bruv. If you're a good finisher, you can score goals anywhere. Like there's no like he's a finisher. That is a specialist thing, yeah. When you're a specialist finisher, you will score goals anywhere. There's nowhere you won't score goals. And that's why you got players like Defoe, bruv. It don't matter whether he's at Tottenham, whether he's at Portsmouth, whether he's at bruv. He's scoring goals, man. Like players, like goal scorers score goals. That's just what they do. It doesn't matter where they are. They score goals. The goal is the same size everywhere. The ball's the same shape. They will score goals.
Have you seen it? Right, listen to this, Rants. Erling Haaland's Premier League record is played 41, scored 44, right? And his all-round record for Man City is played 62, scored 60. But he only scores goals, Rants. So, you know, he should...
Yo, listen,
I don't think anyone said he is. I don't think anyone said he is.
Bro, he's the best. He's the best. He's probably the best goal scorer. I wouldn't say he's the best finisher in the world. He's the best goal scorer in the world for sure. I think Harry Kane's probably the best. I think Harry Kane's probably the best finisher in the world. I think Erling Haaland's probably the best goal scorer in terms of like the amount of goals he scores. Do you know what I mean? No one's saying he's the best footballer in the world, innit? Like he's just, but at what he does, putting the ball in the net and the volume he does it at, obviously the team that he's in makes a difference. Because if Kane was in that City team, I believe he scores probably more than Erling last season, and that sounds wild, but there's a lot of chances that Erling misses that Kane just wouldn't miss. So
Do you-
it's weird.
I mean, 60 and 62 for City, 86 in 89 for Dortmund, 29 in 27 for Salzburg, 25 in 26 for Norway. I don't know what more this man, if I work that out really quickly, that means 5-2. That means there's only been on average in the last 60, 150, 180, in the last 200 games for country and his last 3 clubs. So I said, so the last 200 games, that means I think he's only not scored in 5 of them on average. He's got 195 in his last 200 appearances. Like, I'm just, there should be no conversation about putting this man down. This man should just be left alone in his own little box. Yeah. And did you see, Rants? So I do need to jump in a minute, but did you see, Rants, the interviewers before the Man City game, where they were just asking about Haaland and his poor form and how many chances he's missed?
Yeah.
And Pep Guardiola's batting them away, like looking in disbelief, like, so he's like looking like, hasn't he got 7 goals in 5 league games? Like what are we doing here?
Yeah,
7 in 5. They're going, oh, he's
crazy.
not hit the ground running. What?
It's crazy.
What? Jesus Christ.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Man said he's got the best finishing tech. Bro, Harry Kane, for me, bro, like, it's just that simple. Like, come on, man. Like, bruv, Harry Kane is hitting the inside side net in here with both feet.
Oh, Kane's a ridiculous finisher.
Bro, Harry Kane, this is why I say, when it comes to finishing, bro, like, both feet, like, it's mad. Like, it's automatic, bruv. Like, Harry Kane scored a goal the other day, yeah, for Bayern. The guy played it through him and he just dinked it over the keeper first time, like. And I'm just like, nah, Harry Kane's different, man. Now, Harry Kane is different, bro. Like, he's a machine. He's a machine. His shooting technique, yeah, he can lace it and like side foot it. Like, he wraps his foot around the ball. The way he wraps his foot around the ball, like, he places it with power, like, into the side of...
He passes it into the net.
His thing's different, bro. Like, nah. Harry Kane's different. Lewandowski, not so much anymore. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, Harry Kane's technique is crazy. Like, he's got technique of like a midfielder, like the way he strikes a ball. Like, the finesse is nuts. That's exactly what it is. Like, he passes the ball in. Like, he hits the ball perfect every time. You very rarely see Harry Kane scuff the ball and miss-hit it. It's like almost every time he hits it perfectly. Do you know what I mean?
The thing is with Kane, I think, and one thing I noticed when he played for Bayern the other day, he needs to get out the habit of dropping deep. Like, he's got players now that do that at Bayern. He didn't have that at Spurs.
Bro, but he got a mad assist the other day for Sane, bro. Did you see the pass?
Yeah. Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Days, bro.
Look, all strikers are different, right? Like, let's be real about Haaland. Take away his goals. He's a nightmare in the penalty box. Dragging players away in the air. Like, every striker is different. But... as we've said before, there's not many of them around. So when we do get a bloke that scores 1 every game, let's not knock him and find ways to put him down.
We can't. Yeah, that's the thing. It's true. We can't do that. He only scores goals, but then all the rest of the strikers don't score at all, and then we're on to them. So it's like you're not gonna get the perfect player in it that does everything, that can hold the ball, can run, can score. Like, that used to be the case. Like, back in the day, we had players that were technically better, but now we don't have goal scorers. We don't have specialist goal scorers no more.
No. Like, I mean, if you look at the top 6 goal scorers in the Premier League, listen to this list of names: Haaland, Son, Bowen, Edouard, Ferguson, and Buomo. For me, 3 of them are strikers, 3 of them are wingers. Yeah. But there's no one there that's going to touch Haaland, is there? There's no one there that you think...
No one there. He's in a level all on his own in the league. And this is why we can't turn around and say, oh, like, the Premier League has got all the best players. Because, like, Lewandowski plays in a different league. Harry Kane now plays in a different league. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, João Felix is in a different league, and so on and so forth. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't really know. You know what I mean? It's interesting, though. You lot, smash up the like. Do you know what I mean? Make sure you subscribe to Savage channel. The link is in the chat. Get the likes up as well. We need 500 likes, guys. The likes are too low. We're just below 400. Get them up. I'm back with Daps at 9 o'clock for the first episode of the new show. What you got coming up, my guy?
Just a lot of watch-alongs. We're doing the League Cup because Spurs aren't in Europe or the Cup anymore. We're doing some watch-alongs on the League Cup games. Then you've got Spurs-Liverpool watch-along at the weekend. Should be a good game.
Ooh, that's going to be a big game.
Yeah, it should be a really good one. But if I can shamelessly just plug, I have just been shortlisted for the top 10 new content creator awards. So if anyone, I didn't think I'd get in it, but I got in it. So if anyone would like to vote for me, that would be great. And if anyone would like to subscribe, where can they find the link? Is the link on your Instagram or something? Like yeah, the link's on my Instagram. But yeah, I can. If I send it to you right now, would you be able to?
Yeah, or just put it in the. You can put it in the chat now, and then you can get someone to pin it. You know what I'm saying? You can pin that in the chat, brother, and you lot can vote for Saba, man. That'd be decent as well, man.
There we go. Rants and Rants.
It's always good to get It's always good to put to get recognition for these things anyway, man. Because a lot of the time these award shows, man, I feel like a lot of them are just stitch ups, bruv, and they're just inside jobs, innit? So at least there's some recognition. You know what I mean? That's the main thing, man. Because we put in a lot of work. Yeah, no, absolutely. I've just put the link in. I think you'll be able to see it. Hopefully, it's pulled through that I've put it in. Is it in the chat? Yeah. I think so. Unless there's another Rants and Bants. Has anyone seen it? No, you see it's in the live chat. Did you put it in the live chat? Yeah, man. Hold on, where is it? I don't see it. Hang on, I'm definitely putting it in the live chat. Yeah, look, everyone, because big up Savvy. Yeah, there we go. Is it there? Yeah. Hey guys, pin that if you see it. I've put it in the chat. I don't know why it's not. I don't know if I could. Can I put it in the private chat and I'll. There we go. Yeah, so if anyone would be so kind, I'm going up to Liverpool for the awards due. It's the FCAs. Yeah, going up for the FCAs. I don't think I'll win it, Rants, but you know what? It's nice to be in the conversation, and look, it's the best new content creator. So if anyone would that would be amazing. And if anyone would subscribe, we're closing down on 12K, so it's going pretty well. So. Yeah, guys, hey, I've just pinned it to the chat, innit? So, vote for Sava in the FCA's best new content creator. I don't even know who else is nominated, but you should, bro, you deserve to win that, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'd like to think so. I don't know who else is. Let me see who else is here. I think Big Steve's here. In the same category. Other than Big Steve, I don't know no one else here, brother. Big Steve ain't no new content creator. He's been about for a minute, bro. Do you know what I mean? So. Around the Grounds, Blades Ramble, never heard of. 1 Minute Football, nope, not heard of them. Jacob something, I don't know. Joey Knight, I don't know. The Manchester Derby, I don't know. Time Life, I don't know. And Wonderfully Football, I don't know, bruv. So, best new content creator, guys. Go vote for Football Heritage TV, people. Do you know what I mean? You know what it is. And also make sure that you subscribe to the channel as well. The link is in the title. You know what I mean? But yeah, guys, definitely get voting, man. Definitely get voting. And that'll be quality. You know someone's put trophy for Spurs. Come on, Sam. Yeah, look. I'm trying to win a trophy for my club, all right? That's it, guys. So get that, man. Do you know what I mean? Get that out there, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Get Spurs a trophy. You know what I mean? Oh, man. Listen, boy, I'd sacrifice United's next trophy to be playing the football that Spurs are playing. I'm telling you, because the football is tragic right now. So, do you know what I mean? Nah, big up everyone inside. You know what I mean? Big up everyone that's voted as well. People are just voting at the moment. Do you know what I mean? So you guys get the voting in. I've pinned the thing. So it's best new content creator, Football Heritage TV. Also, make sure you subscribe to their YouTube channel. I am back at 9 o'clock with Daps. So yeah, you can tell me how crap my team is, bro. Like, I can't believe I'm sitting down with a Man City fan. Yeah, like, this is the worst time to be sitting down with a Man City fan. Daps, though. Them guys have just won a treble, yeah, and they're running away with the Premier League about 6 weeks in. I think they're the only team with a 100% record, yeah, and I have to sit down and listen to this crap for an hour now. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. Give him my best. Nah, bruv. It's gonna be hell, man. Do you know what I mean? Usually, like, I'll sit down and I've got leverage with everyone I sit down with, and then I have to sit down with a Man City fan. It's like there's nothing.
Nah,
There's
you'll be
nothing.
all
Like
right.
Liverpool fans, they're in the Europa League, so I can laugh. Do you know what I mean? Spurs don't win anything, so I'm all right. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Arsenal ain't winning nothing, so I'm all right. Do you know what I mean? And then flipping Man City, it's crazy. So I don't really know, man. I don't really know how this one's gonna go, guys. You know, like, I don't know how this one's gonna go,
Yeah,
but
you do.
no, I don't, man. I'm telling you, because I don't have a leg to stand on with this team. Like, there's no positives to take from Man United season. There's none. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the only positive about Man City being this good is that they don't have any fans, so they're not that loud. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the only thing. Because Man City fans would be like Man United fans in the 90s. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's what they would be like. And we were horrible. Do you know what I mean? Like I know that. Like I remember just going to school, like, and it was like nobody could tell me anything.
Yeah, but man, you were the best. Now you're
Yeah, like
not.
nobody could tell me anything, bro. Like it wasn't even a conversation. It wasn't a my team's better than your team or this. It was nothing. You just had to humble yourself. Like that
Oh
was
yeah.
it. And that's what Man City are now. Like it's like they're undisputed, like better than everyone else. It's not even an argument. You can't say anything to them. So it's like I know what it was like. Like my team win a treble and I'm walking in school smug. No one can tell me anything.
Yeah.
And then they've
I
just
hear
won
you,
the
man.
treble, and I have to sit down and listen to this rubbish, mate. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's gonna be a bit mad. But guys, 9 o'clock. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you vote for Sava. The link has been pinned to the chat. You know what I mean? Best new
Thank you
content
so
creator,
much.
Football Heritage TV, and I will see you guys